darlings, this is Mrs. Welch from the Chester-Andover Elementary School, and I have a book for you. I love fairy tales. I love dogs. What's better than putting them together? We're doing Cinderella with Dogs by Linda Bailey. We all love our puppers. Poor Cinderella, lonely and sad, was sweeping the ashes from the fireplace. Everyone had gone off to the ball to dance. She had to stay home and work. Poor Cinderella never went anywhere. She never had a single bit of fun, ever. If only I had a fairy godmother, she said. Suddenly, the door flew open. Here I am, cried the visitor, your fairy dog mother. Woof! Cinderella gasped. Did you say dog mother? I did indeed, said the visitor. Oh dear, said Cinderella, I'm supposed to have a fairy godmother, not a dog mother. The dog hung her head. You mean you don't want me? Cinderella knew how it felt to be unwanted. She also happened to be very fond of dogs. I suppose we could give it a try, she said. Oh, good, said the dog, because you need some cheering up. Let's chase squirrels. Squirrels? Asked Cinderella. But she followed the dog outside. Soon they were chasing squirrels all over the lawn. Cinderella was surprised to find out she did feel more cheerful. It was the first time she'd been outside in weeks. That was fun, she told the fairy dog mother. But aren't you going to get me ready for the ball? The dog got very excited. Ball? Ball? Where? Fetch. Not that kind of ball, said Cinderella. It's the fancy kind. You're supposed to dress me up. I am, said the dog. Why didn't you say so? She reached into her tutu, pulled out a magic wand, and waved it at Cinderella. Woof! Poof! Holy moly, said Cinderella. What's this? It looks like an old dog blanket. That's exactly what it is, said the fairy dog mother. Doesn't it smell divine? Cinderella gave it a sniff. It wasn't a regular ball gown, but it was cozy, and she did love the fleecy bits, so she smiled. Perfect, the fairy dog mother said. Now your hair. She waved her wand again. Woof! Poof! Cinderella ran to a mirror. Oh my goodness, she said, I look just like a poodle. You do, cried the dog. I'm so jealous. Oh, golly gee, Josephine. What about shoes? Asked Cinderella. Overrated, said the fairy dog mother. Somebody put booties on me once. They just fall right off. Cinderella shook her head. I can't go to the ball barefoot. Very well, said the dog, reaching into her tutu again. I still have a couple of those booties. You look fabulous, said the fairy dog mother. Time to go. Go? Cinderella asked. Aren't you supposed to make me a fancy carriage with horses and footmen? I suppose I could, said the dog, but it's so much more fun to run. Wouldn't you like a good run and a grand old howl on the way? As it so happened, Cinderella was very fond of running. Chasing the squirrels had reminded her. She'd never tried howling before, but there was a full moon that night, and when the fairy godmother burst into howls, it seemed natural for Cinderella to join in. Let's howl with her too for the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2. That was fun. And that's how Cinderella entered the ball, running and howling with puffy poodle hair and dressed in a wild woolly gown. Everyone froze in shock. The king and the queen, princes and princesses, duchesses, earls, lords, and ladies in waiting. A few people even fainted. But the king and the queen didn't faint, nor did the prince or the princess. That's because the royal family loved dogs. They had dozens of dogs. They couldn't get enough of them. I want to move in. At that very moment, the royal dogs ran in. Cinderella dropped to the floor and gave each dog a hug. She's a marvel, said the queen. I adore her, said the king. I love the hair, said the princess. Yowzers, cried the prince. She's amazing. He asked her to dance, and she said yes. Around and around they danced all evening, and the dogs danced too. The prince was enchanted. I love how the dogs are dancing together too. But when the ball ended, they had to say goodbye, and that's when one of Cinderella's booties fell off. Look, said the prince, and picked it up. I'll keep this precious slipper so I can find you again. Cinderella laughed. Don't worry, she said. Your dogs will find me everywhere. She was right, of course. The very next day, the dogs tracked her down, and of course the booty fit her foot, and of course the prince asked her to marry him. Well, thanks, said Cinderella, but I hardly know you. Why don't we have some fun together instead? Have you ever chased squirrels? And that is just what they did. I love this one. This has been Mrs. Welch for the Chester-Andover Elementary School Library. We'll see you soon.